am here to give you some tips on how to be a good parent. Okay? Let me give you a little bit about my background. I don't have any children. Yeah. So, you may not think that that's like would say enough for someone to give somebody advice on how to be a good parent. But I had some very insightful advice for you that you may see as helpful. Okay? I do have a stepdaughter though, and she is sweet as pie, and her name is Mimi, and she is she'll be 12 in December. Okay? So number 1, keep your child healthy. Okay? Keep your child healthy. And what I mean by that is, like, hey, how y'all doing? Again? Sorry, being political. Okay, what I mean by keep your child healthy, be aware of what goes inside and outside of your child's body. Keep up with their bowel movements. As they're a baby and as you're changing their pamper, then you can actually see what, their bowel movements are like, and you can kind of know when to fine-tune their diet. But when they get a little older, you'll probably have to ask them, like, how was your bowel movement today? And they'll tell you, it was hard, or it was soft, or it was okay, normal, a lot, a little bit, skinny, fat. All that stuff makes a difference, and, whether you need to make some changes on, their diet, okay? I should see my hair, but not that much. Okay. Make sure they eat their vegetables and don't fill them up full of sugar. Those are kind of common sense things, but you just don't know how many people, fill their kids up with sugar just to get them out the way. Or, if the child doesn't want to eat the vegetables, they're like, oh yeah, so-and-so, my child doesn't eat beans. My child doesn't eat string beans. He doesn't like them. No, not tolerated. You make them eat it. But if you start when they're early, it wouldn't get to where it's a fight when they're older, okay? Number 2, discipline your children, okay? Spank your children when they're young. I say from about a little bit over 1, like 15 months, that's when you need to start whooping your child. I know people hear of those terrible twos. That's when the child actually starts to try to test their parents and try to get their independence. That's when you need to spank your child. From 15 months to 2 years old, if you spank your child when they're that young, when they get older, you won't have to spank them. You won't have to do anything but give them a look like, touch it if you want to. And be real stern with it, and they're not going to touch it. Trust me. They're not. Unless they have some other type of problem going on, and in which they do, then you have to go back to the diet. You have to make sure what's going in and what's going out of their body are the correct things. So, discipline your children. And when they get older, like I said, if you discipline them when they're young, when they get older, you wouldn't have to discipline them physically anymore. Okay? When they get older, like let's say preteens, start taking away things that they like. Okay? Don't reward them for good things. For bad things, bad behavior. If they have bad behavior, you take away something that you know that they like. And don't give it back until they change their behavior. Okay? But, number 3, which takes me into rewarding your child. Okay? Reward your child with, depending on the child, because if they're real sensitive, then reward them with love and hugs, kisses, pats on the back, words of encouragement. And if they're really independent, not, really tough, type person, then, things, then you can go into the material type things, like, their games and their, phones or what have you. But yeah, reward them for good behavior, whether it be grades, and even if it's not all A's, if they're showing you that they're improving on their grades, they can go from a C to a B. Reward them for that, because they'll equate good behavior and improving with good things. So, reward your child for athletics, Housework, if they do some housework, you know, that you didn't ask them to do, reward them for it. And that way they'll be able to associate good things with the things that they do. Okay? Number 4, be a good example for your child. Like if you're a single parent, don't have like a whole bunch of men or women in and out of your house different nights out the week, you know. Don't do that, because they're going to get confused and they're not going to know, like, they're not going to associate relationships with monogamy. Okay, so if you're going to bring a child home, a person home to your child, make sure that it's somebody that you're willing to stick with. That way your child can associate, can learn, even though it's not with their parents, like their other parents, that way they'll learn a little bit about monogamy. Okay? Don't show like racist elements of your life to your child, because your child is going to grow up thinking like that same way, and it's going to end up being bad for your child. Like you know those kids that did the blackface reenactment with Rihanna and Chris Brown? Like 9 times out of 10 their parents feel the same way, and they're just displaying what they normally do at home because their parents promote and encourage that type of behavior. You know, if there's something that's not tolerated in your home, your child's not going to go out and do it in public. Okay, because and if you do, then to the world your child is going to look like a little snot. Okay, you don't want that. All right. So be a good example for your children. You know, don't do drugs in front of your children. Don't, like, you can't sit up in there and smoke crack around your child. It's not good. You know, it's teaching your child that, it's teaching your child your coping mechanisms. And you want your child to develop their own coping mechanisms of positive behavior, rather than, oh, well, every time mom gets stressed out, she goes and hits the pipe. Because then every time your child gets stressed out, they're going to go and hit the pipe. So you don't want to promote that type of behavior. And anything that you see that you don't want, like, the public to see you doing, don't let your child see you doing either. Okay? So be a good example for your child. Number 5, get involved in your child's life. You know, you may not have to be in the PTA, but like if your child has a game or some type of like trivia contest coming up, or swim meet, or what have you, whatever type of activity that your child does, get involved in it. And if you're the type of parent that works and can't get involved in it, send the other parent. You know, send somebody from your clan that would support your child. Because you don't want your child standing around like while everybody else, like, after the event, meeting with their parents, and they're just standing around like, guess I have nobody to come see me. Like, that's not good. So send somebody, you know, whether it be a friend, you know, just send somebody to support your child, you know, in their event. And what else? Number 6, tell the truth to your child, whether it be about like divorce, myths such as Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and things like that, sex. Tell your child the truth, and always talk to your child truthfully, because your child will respect you. You know, if your child comes, if you tell your child one thing and then they find out that you were a liar and lied to them, they're not going to trust you. Okay? If you want your child to trust you, you have to tell your child what you believe to be the truth at the time. Okay? And you want your child to feel like they're going to be able to, they want to come and tell you everything. Your child's not going to be able to tell you everything if you're not the type of person that likes to be approached. You know, so be open to talk to your child, and they'll approach you regarding things like, oh, there's a boy at school, he likes me, but he goes with another girl, he has another girlfriend. Then that way you can really just open up the dialogue and tell them your opinions on things, you know, and more than likely your child will go with what you say if they feel like they're comfortable enough to talk to you about things like that, you know. So, number 7. Always speak positively to your child. Even if you're telling them something bad, speak positively to them. You know, if you have to tell them something, just tell it to them in a positive way. Well, baby, I know you like to tie your own shoes, and I know you like to put your own shoes on, but sweetheart, they're on the wrong feet. Let mommy come and put them on the right feet for you, and we're gonna get it right. You're gonna get it together. You see, you don't want to be like, you always putting your shoes on the wrong feet. You know, you don't want to put those negative connotations to your child. I don't know if I said that in a sentence or I don't know. But you don't want your child to think negatively about little things like that. So just everything you tell them, just tell it to them in a positive way. You know, if you're gonna critique your child, critique them in a positive way, so they'll know that you're not trying to offend them, that you're not trying to put them down. You know, you want to be good for their self-esteem. So always be positive to your child. Okay. Number 8, make your child work for what they want. Okay? That's how the real world operates. When people want something, they work, they wait for their paycheck, they get their paycheck, they go buy it. Okay? Or they have their own business. They work, they wait for their paycheck, and when they get their paycheck, they go buy it. That's how it works. So, if you want your child to have good work ethic, start them out early. Okay? Start them out real early. Oh, you want that game? Okay, well that game costs what? $200. So at $10 an hour, you're gonna have to work like what, 20 hours to get that. So I got 20 hours worth of work for you to do. You know, that's before they get of age to work at like a regular business. But when they get of age, send them out to work in the workplace so that they can learn good work ethic. You know, you don't want your child like to be 25 years old going to his first job interview and he doesn't know what to say, he doesn't know what to do, he doesn't understand that you have to be on time, he doesn't understand that you have to do the best job that you can do, or you could lose your job to somebody else. You know, so if they get to take on that really early in life, it will be way beneficial to them. And number 9, educate your own child. Do not expect the school to teach your child anything. Do not expect anybody to teach your child anything. You teach your child, okay? And you can start as early as you want. But start teaching your child things. Like my stepdaughter, when she was 3.5 years old, I taught her to read. I taught her the phonics, and then she learned how to read. So by the time she got to kindergarten, she actually already knew how to read. And so she was ahead of the game every year, because every year before school started, the summertime that she spent with us, you know, we would go over things that she would need to learn for that year. So when she went to school, she really, ever since she started school, she's been breezing through school. She's a straight A student. Because we work on things before school starts. Just because it's summertime doesn't mean that you can't still learn. Okay? So teach your children things. And even if you don't know something, if you don't know, learn along with your child. Okay? Because like I said, I did teach my stepdaughter a lot of things before school started. That's when, like, she's in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade. But like 5th grade is hard work. Like a lot of things that kids do in 5th grade, adults don't even know. So by the time she got to 5th grade, I'm like, I don't know the answer to that, Mimi. But let's learn together. Okay, let's learn together. And so she's been teaching me some things, and I've been teaching her some things. But we've been learning together, and she's still ahead of the game because of that. So yeah, those are some things that if you follow those guidelines, which are pretty much general, you know, you'll have a healthy child, and your child will be like a well-rounded person. You know, everybody hates an asshole, and people often wonder why. Like, how did you get that way? Parents. Whenever somebody is a certain way, no matter what it is, it always goes back to the parents. You know, some people, oh, well, my child doesn't act that way. Yes, your child does. Okay, you don't talk honestly to your child, so your child doesn't talk honestly to you, to tell you what they're doing behind your back. So, yeah, if you want a well-rounded child, you know, if you follow those tips, you'll achieve your goals. In the meanwhile, if you need some extra money, please visit my website at www.mymills.com. www.easypaychecknow.weebly.com, and it's referral marketing, and it's really easy and simple, and you get $80 commission per person. And as always, have a good one. Bye.